What if you just had one more day? What are you going to do today? If you only had half of it, what would you do differently? What about half of that? How much time have you already spent worrying instead of doing something that you love?
Time is short. If someone had told me when I was 20 years old that life was very short and would pass just like that, I wouldn't have believed it. And if I tell you that, you don't believe it either. I cannot get young people to understand how brief life is, how quickly it passes. Everything today reminds us of today and reminds us of the importance of this moment and of this hour and of this minute. And it reminded me of the little girl. The clock had struck 13 times and she said, "Mother, it's later than you think. And it's later in your life and my life than we think." Every one of us here has been given the same amount of time in a day. 1,440 minutes a day, 168 hours per week. Every morning we have 86,400 seconds to spend and to invest. And each day the bank named Time opens a new account for you and for me. It allows no balances and no overdrafts. If you fail to use the day's deposits, the loss is yours. Time also calls for immediate action. The fact that time is short calls for something now. Now is the accepted time. The things we ought to do, the classes we ought to take, the books we ought to read, do it now. The family that needs you, spend more time now. Write that letter home now that you've been meaning to write. Money you ought to give now. Time for study, do it now. People you ought to witness to, do it now. Every time the clock ticks, it seems to say now, today, if you will hear his voice. What is your life? It's even a vapor that appeareth for a little time and then vanisheth away. The brevity of time, that brings us to the urgency of time. What a thing it is when you think that you have just one short life to spend and it'll soon be over. We never know. Will your work be finished? Is there a quality to it? Is there a dedication to it? Time can also be a tool, but we can also be its slave. I'd write down my priorities in life, and I'd get committed to certain priorities. There may not be a tomorrow for you and for me, because there's a warning to time. Time is running out for all of us. Time is too short for indecision and vacillation. Do not halt between two opinions. Fools say that time is long.